Hello CraftDee Family, and welcome to another tutorial by She's So Crafty. For today's DIY project, we'll be creating a look for less, making this wall decor inspired by a piece that I saw online at Kirklands. Now this piece features a decorative wreath, a real wood frame, and a metal grate design that I will create using my faux metal technique. And as you know, I like to keep things budget friendly, so I purchased all of my materials for $1 or less. Now, for your convenience, I provided the list of supplies and tools used to make this project in the description box below. Now, I'm really excited to share this tutorial with you, but before we start, I want to say hello and welcome back to my amazing subscribers and visitors to my channel. Now, if you are a new visitor to my channel today and you love to create fun and easy DIY projects on a budget, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also click that notification bell so you will be the first to know when a new DIY tutorial is ready to share with you. So now, let's jump right into the project. Now here is my inspiration piece for this project today. Now I thought this item was absolutely beautiful, but I didn't want to pay $60 for it. So I decided to create my own version, and I grabbed a few supplies from the Dollar Tree and a few items from my crafting stash. Now for this project, we'll need 2 packs of the 5-gallon paint sticks and 3 packs if you're making 2 art pieces. We'll also need 1 poster board if making 1 art piece and 2 if making 2. Now the first thing we're going to do is we need to cut the handle portion off of the paint sticks. So I'm going to measure and mark them at approximately 17 inches, and then I'm going to take them outside and cut these with my saw. And here are all of the pieces cut. And now I'm going to lay down my grid mat and remove all of the sticks from the packaging. Now I'm going to be pulling out 8 sticks for my 2 pieces, but if you're only making 1, you'll need 4 pieces. And now let's get ready to stain. So I'm going to gather up my staining supplies. Now I will be using this Ace stain in the color Early American for this project. Now you want to make sure when you apply your stain that it is on the non-printed side of the stick. Now you will also want to make sure that you get the sides and the ends of the wood as well. Now I love this rich golden brown tone of this stain, and I really think it highlights the grain really well. Now once all the sticks are stained, sit them out to dry and grab your poster board. Now I started to remove the stickers, but this isn't really necessary since it won't be showing. Now if you're making 1 art piece, just use 1 poster board and cut it in half for this step. Now I'll be using Mod Podge to adhere 2 pieces together on top of each other. Now you want to make sure that the shiny sides are on the outside, and with a large brush, apply a light layer of Mod Podge along one of the edges, and then apply the other piece on top, making sure to align those edges. Now you can use some clips to hold it in place while you work. And then you want to continue to add a few inches of the Mod Podge at a time. You want to make sure that you smooth and adhere the board in place as you go, because the Mod Podge dries quickly. And here are the 2 pieces adhered together. So now I'm going to place down my grid mat, or you can use a ruler, but you want to mark along the long edges every inch. And you want to repeat this for the other long side as well. And since my ruler was too short, I'm just going to use a scrap piece of wood to line up those tick marks and draw 1-inch lines across my board. And now if you're using a full board, you'll end up with 28 sections, and if you're using a halved board, you'll end up with 14. So now I'm going to take this outside to paint. So I laid out my painting table and grabbed my Brilliant Aluminum Spray Paint by Krylon. Now you want to spray paint that poster board in small sections, and while the spray paint is still wet, you want to dab it with a crumpled paper towel to give it a varied texture. Now you want to repeat this process in sections for the entire board. And this is what the sheet will look like when you're done. Now I wanted it to have a little bit more dimension, so I mixed some of this apple white acrylic paint with some apple pavement acrylic paint for a lighter gray color. And then I just randomly dabbed that color all over the poster board and let it completely dry. And now that it's all dry, we can bring it in and start working. Okay, so we're back to the craft table and everything looks good, and this is the board all dried. So we're just gonna flip it over on the side with all of those lines, and then we're gonna cut it out into strips on those lines that we drew. Now I'm gonna be using an X-Acto knife to do this, but I'll rotate between scissors and my X-Acto for this process. And here are all of my strips cut out. And now that our wood is dry, we can start to assemble our frame. So I want to lay my frame out with the right side down so that the vertical sides sit on top of the two horizontal sides. So I'm just going to use some wood glue from the Dollar Tree at each corner as shown. And once those are in place, I'm going to reinforce each corner by adding 3 staples with my staple gun. And here is my fully assembled frame. So now we can go ahead and start adding our metal look strips on the back. Now I'm counting out 14 strips, and that's what you'll need for one piece of art. So you want to lay out 7 of those strips across the back, making sure that those are spaced evenly. And once they're nice and even, you can take your staple gun or hot glue gun and you can secure those strips into place. And then you want to rotate and secure them on the other side as well. And once all secure, just take your X-Acto knife and you can cut off all of those overhung pieces. And this is how it looks so far. So now we're going to take those 7 remaining strips and we want to weave them into those first strips. Now you want to make sure that you rotate your over and under pattern for the strips. Now once these are all in, you just want to go ahead and even them out and then staple or glue them into place. And then cut off all of the overhang pieces. And now the frame is complete. Now for the wreath, I'll be using one of these 8-inch wreath forms from the Dollar Tree, and I'll also be using some of this 97-cent boxwood greenery. Now I'll also be using some burlap ribbon I got on clearance, but you can use any burlap that you like. Now if you don't have a small wreath form, you can cut a ring out of foam board and that will work as well for this project. So I'm just going to take one of my wreath forms and I'm going to wrap and cover the entire wreath form, securing it with hot glue with that burlap ribbon. You want to start with a generous amount of hot glue when you first start to get that tail wrapped in, and you kind of want to wrap it around at an angle, and this will provide really good coverage around the wreath form. And then once you get to the end, you just want to secure it well with hot glue on those loose ends. And then you want to take a few bundles of that boxwood and you want to cut the stems off with a wire cutter. And now you can start to apply those boxwood stems around the wreath, slightly flaring them out all the way around. You just want to apply hot glue to the stems, press them in place for a brief second until they hold, and continue working your way around, all the way around the wreath form. Now once all the flared pieces are in there, grab those extra leafy pieces and fill in those gaps. And now that your wreath is all complete, you can grab your frame and you can apply your wreath. Now I wanted mine to be removable, so I'm going to form a paper clip into an S shape and then hook that wreath to my frame. And there you go. And then to hang my frame, I'm simply going to apply one of these hangers from the Dollar Tree to the back, and we can hang up our finished project. And here is that finished project. I am so very happy with the way that this turned out. Now I think that the golden brown tones of the wood paired with that metal look, it really gives this piece a high-end look. And I really love how the wreath just ties everything together. You guys have to let me know in the comments if this looks like my inspiration piece. Listen, if you enjoy this tutorial, please give this video a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Make sure that you're following She's So Crafty EE on Facebook for the latest news, sneak peeks, and giveaways. Thank you so much for visiting and checking out my tutorial today. If you like videos like these and don't want to miss the next one, make sure you're subscribed by clicking that subscribe button below and turning on that notification bell. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.